To start today, I'd like to introduce the 2015-2016 administration team. On the far left is our new Vice Principal, Mr. Hansen, no relation to Rick Hansen. On the right are Mr. McLeod, who deals with surnames L to Z, and Ms. DeMere, who deals with surnames A to K. They are your Vice Principals this year at Rick Hansen. Our school was named after famous philanthropist and Paralympian Rick Hansen, who in 1985 embarked on a 26-month tour around the world in his wheelchair to raise money for spinal cord research. Behind the great man is our great motto, be the best that you can be. It is our hope that you will make the most of your time here, and that in everything that you embark on both at school and in your life away from school, that Hansen's inspirational words will never be far from your thoughts. Here at Hansen, we practice the STORM philosophy of stewardship, which includes helping others and taking care of our environment. Technology using 21st century tools for success, opportunity, making the most of school to be engaged in learning and to embrace leadership opportunities. Responsiveness, taking action to do the right thing when it is required. Metacurriculum, taking the time to learn about how we learn and to make the most of your studies here. It is our mission to prepare all learners who attend Hansen to be thinking, caring, flexible individuals who can meet the challenges of the 21st century.
Self-respect. To have pride and confidence in oneself, a feeling that one is behaving with honor and dignity. At Rick Hansen, we believe that students and staff need to not only respect each other, but also themselves. We have a number of things that we include in this self-respect. The first is clothing. This includes wearing the proper clothing to school. The dress code is seen as a good way to encourage respect, responsibility, and safety in our schools. Rick Hansen's dress code strikes a balance for both staff and students between individual expression and the expectation of society for appropriate attire in a shared workplace such as a school. It is understood that students who do not follow the dress code will be asked by a teacher or vice principal to change, borrow a t-shirt or other clothing from a friend, or reverse remove the offensive item. In these cases, a phone call will be placed by the staff member to the parent to explain the school's concern. It is the professional judgment of the staff that will determine the appropriateness or lack of appropriateness of the student dress. A reminder that overly revealing and overly sexual clothing, such as transparent, displaying undergarments, backless, skimpy, bare midriffs, and low-cut or off-the-shoulder, etc., are inappropriate models of the school dress. This also includes the showing of underwear. The second, headwear. Hats, bandanas, and headgear, other than for religious reasons, are not to be worn in the building. Hoods impede student identification and are to be removed within the school when directed by staff. The third, your student ID. All students at Rick Hansen Secondary School must have a current 2015-2016 student ID. The student ID must be carried at all times and can be used to identify yourself to a staff member, to sign out materials from the library, and to purchase food and drink from the cafeteria. And this would be done through our cashless school system. The fourth one, positive attitude of self-respect. All students are expected to have a positive attitude when representing Rick Hansen, both as a student in the building and in the community. This includes being respectful to staff and other students and community members at all times. Self-respect, your health, which equals our health. Rick Hansen Secondary School prides itself on being a smoke-free, drug-free, and alcohol-free environment. Students who choose to smoke cigarettes and are of legal age must do so off school property. Students found using, consuming, or being in possession of illegal drugs or alcohol will be escorted to the main office and receive consequences. If you feel you or a friend has a substance abuse problem and you'd like support, please come to the counseling department for support. Medical reporting. Families are reminded that they must report all medical concerns and conditions to the main office. Any changes to your medical condition must be updated as soon as possible so that we can support you to the best of our ability. A reminder to all students that the school is not allowed to administer prescription or over-the-counter drugs, including painkillers such as Tylenol or Advil. A reminder that Rick Hansen Secondary School is a scent-free school, and staff and students are asked to not wear such strong scents as perfume, cologne, body spray, etc. Students found to be spraying scents in the school or wearing overpowering scents will be directed to the main office and could be sent home. Our school, a safe and respectful place. We are teaching students to identify bullying behavior and give them strategies to deal with and stop it from happening. Bullying is typically a form of repeated, persistent, and aggressive behavior directed at an individual or individuals that is intended to cause or should be known to cause fear, distress, and/or harm to another person's body, feelings, self-esteem, or reputation. Bullying occurs in a context where there is a real or perceived power imbalance. When someone experiences or observes bullying behavior, he or she is expected to report it to a teacher, teaching assistant, school administrator, or any other staff in the building immediately. Bullying behavior will be dealt with using a progressive discipline approach. Improper and intimidating behavior that affects the rights of students and staff to work in a safe and comfortable learning environment will not be tolerated. Harassment and physical, verbal, oral, or written, electronic such as Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, sexual or psychological abuse, bullying, initiation, gang or hate-related activities, or discrimination on the basis of race, faith, gender, socioeconomic status, ability, age, sexual orientation, or any other attribute is unacceptable. Racial discrimination includes exclusion, insults, ethnic jokes, stereotyping, assault, graffiti, name-calling, and intimidation. Sexual harassment includes, but is not limited to, sexist jokes, comments or gestures, leering, display of sexually offensive material, unwelcome sexual flirtations, advances or propositions, unwanted gifts, persistent unwanted contact or attention after the end of a consensual relationship, unwanted touching, verbal abuse, or threats of a sexual nature, and sexual assault. These could also include homophobic comments. Where can you be during the school day? New this year, lunch periods will be periods 3 and 4 only. Students that are on lunch may eat their lunch in the cafeteria, main atrium, or outside. Please remember to clean up after yourself and keep Rick Hansen Secondary School a clean place for both staff, students, and our community. Students that are on lunch are not allowed to be in the wings on the first floor, stairwells or staircases, or the second and third floors. These areas are out of bounds as they are primarily academic areas. Lockers. Each student at Rick Hansen Secondary School is eligible to use the locker provided to them by the school. Lockers may be used before and after school and during period changes. If you are on lunch, locker access is given to students during the last 5 minutes of the period. A reminder to all students that lockers are the possession of the Peel District School Board and can be searched by the school administration at any time. The end of the school day. New this year, our school day finishes at 3:05 p.m. If you are not involved in a supervised activity by a staff member after school, we ask that you vacate the building by 3:25 p.m. each day. This allows our custodial staff to clean the building and for the school to get ready for afternoon evening permits and school events that are occurring. Where can you be? It is a privilege to drive a car and park it at Rick Hansen Secondary School. Students are reminded that safe and responsible, respectful driving practices are expected at all times. If you are found not following the direction, you will lose your privilege. As well, visitor parking is not an option for students. Please park your car in the main parking lot area of Rick Hansen Secondary School.
To care for each other means that we stand up and support one another when we witness or learn about an interaction that isn't mutually respectful, or if you are suspicious that someone is being hurt. To report a concern, or if you have a safety question, Kids Help Phone is available 24/7. Or you can talk to an adult like a parent, a teacher, a counselor, or an administrator. Caring about our school means that we pick up after ourselves. We don't leave garbage to pile up on tables in the halls or in rooms of our building, and we recycle what we can. It's a privilege to go to school where you are not only allowed but encouraged to bring your own electronic device and where Wi-Fi is available throughout the school. So make sure that you're using technology to support your academic goals and be responsible with it. Speaking of personal electronic devices, remember to always keep yours in a secure place. And that goes for all of the valuables you may need to leave unattended. The school does not take responsibility for any lost or stolen property, so be careful and lock up your stuff. As a member of the Rick Hansen community, please do not allow any non-Rick Hansen students on our property or in our building. This is considered trespassing. Likewise, do not go to any other schools during the school day. At Rick Hansen, we not only show respect for our own school and property, we also care about our neighborhood. It would be wonderful if all of our students walked or rode their bikes to school. But if you get dropped off and picked up in front of our building every day, please remember to meet your rides in the kiss and ride lane that loops the parking lot. Getting dropped off there before 8:15 in the morning and picked up there after 3:15 in the afternoon will help to keep this area safe for pedestrians too.
All students who follow the STORM philosophy are sure to have a smooth and worry-free experience at Rick Hansen. Just remember to show up, be respectful, and do your best. We all need to be mindful that we are responsible for the things we say and do. The only person you can control is you. If you're concerned about your safety or someone else's, please make sure to report these to an adult in the building so appropriate actions and interventions can be taken. Don't be a bystander. Students who do not engage in upstanding behavior may find themselves a participant in the progressive discipline policy. What's that, you may ask? Progressive discipline is a strategy that encourages students to learn from their past mistakes and to accept consequences for their own behavior with increasing consequences for subsequent discipline-related issues. In rare situations, students can be suspended from school for engaging in behaviors that are unacceptable. These situations can include the following: committing robberies and theft, including taking items that aren't yours from change rooms, in classrooms, or cases of academic theft, being under the influence of alcohol or drugs, or bringing them to school or giving them to others, bullying others at school or online, swearing at or threatening the safety of others in the school or online, or any other activities that can be viewed as interfering with another person's ability to feel safe at school. An expulsion from school will be considered when students bring any type of weapons to school, even fake weapons intended as props in classroom presentations. If student uses a weapon, commits a physical assault which requires the victim to seek medical treatment, committed sexual assault, or engaging in buying and selling of drugs or weapons, expulsion may be considered. However, if students focus on the positive and their academic success, this should be an awesome year. Success in school means showing up for all your classes on time. Remember, show up and be responsible. There will be those days where you must be absent because of an illness or an appointment. If this is the case, have your parents call in your absence or bring in a note on the first day of your return to the main office. Make sure you approach your teachers to get an idea of what you have missed. Even better, make sure you have the contact information of someone in each of your classes, or you know where to look online, and be proactive about missed work. The next key to improve performance in school is to set academic goals for yourself. Look at how you did last year and find out where you can improve. Decide on reachable goals for the semester to focus on. Make a plan to achieve those goals. Write them down. Tell them to people to keep yourself accountable. Remember, our ultimate goal is to do it right the first time. One way to make sure you do it right the first time is always engage in academically honest practices. Do your own work. Credit others when you paraphrase or quote their work. Avoid cheating. Learning means demonstrating what you can do and working on getting better where you struggle. Good time management and study habits will help you avoid this trap. In planning ahead, please remember that final evaluations occur during the last few weeks of every semester, and this must be completed by all students under the direct supervision of a teacher. This year, final evaluations will occur during the last few weeks in January and the last few weeks in June. Avoid appointments and trips during this time. Except under the most dire of extenuating circumstances, final evaluations cannot be rescheduled. So what's the best way to make sure you plan for success? Make sure to regularly check the school website at rickhansenss.poschools.org, where you can find out about upcoming events. And refer to the student handbook and find newsletters and other information, things like course selections and diploma requirements. You can also follow us on Twitter. We are at Rick Hansen PDSB. So make sure you find a healthy balance between life and school. Use class time wisely to minimize homework to free up time and get involved with the many clubs and teams and sports that we have to offer at Rick Hansen. Also make time for family and friends. Start working on collecting your 40 hours of volunteer work early so you can spread it out and not have to worry about it in the spring of your grade 12 year. Use these opportunities to take advantage and get involved in the life of the school.
So to conclude, remember that in life, you get out what you put in. Put lots of effort in, and you will be rewarded with great things in return. Good luck, everyone, and remember, be the best that you can be.